All right, brother man.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
All right, all right. I'm going live, and we're live. What is going on, Robert? How you doing today?
Hello, Devin. Oh man, it's good to be back.
It's been a while. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me on, bud. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Welcome everybody in the chat and online. Happy Wednesday, as always. Today I have the one and only Robert on, and we're talking some of the cool new reefing tech. I know Black Friday sales are just around the corner. There's been lots of really cool new products coming up on the market lately. I mean, there's some favorite stuff that we played with in here, so I figure it'd be kind of a fun thing to talk about, kind of pre-holidays or pre-sales for your
Yeah, man,
tank.
it's kind of that time of year, and everybody starts thinking about new stuff. So yeah, what better time to talk about it?
No, exactly. So how you
Yeah,
been?
good,
How's
man, real
life?
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
life's great, dude. Kind of had a big year. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I've back in April, I moved my family across the country. So I used to live in Orange County, California, and I am now in Nashville, Tennessee. So it was a big move. It's really fun. There's a number of reasons we did it, but kind of one of the biggest things was I resigned from Marine Depot in April, which is where I was doing the YouTube videos before, and I took a new position at Bulk Reef Supply. And my new position's a little bit different, just sort of progressing kind of professional skills and stuff, but I'm just focused on writing content. I mean, my title's SEO content specialist. So, really taking the content that Ryan and Randy do on YouTube and sort of turning that into a more digestible sort of written piece. And you can see they're published all on their website and stuff. And then I also I play a role in product onboarding, so I kind of oversee that process with new products and kind of take the experience I have and just sort of feed it into that purchasing team.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's been
man.
keeping you pretty busy.
Yeah,
So
so far so good. So I didn't really go anywhere. I mean, I'm still in the industry, just not on YouTube anymore. So
that's pretty exciting. It's good to see you're still, got the reefing hobby at heart.
oh yeah, man, I don't think I
Yeah.
could ever get away from it. I actually so and I was talking to Jeremy Howell from Brightwell today, and I was telling him, I was like, I don't think it's probably been 16 years since I haven't had a fish tank with an arm's reach. I left all my tanks and everything in California, and I
Mhm.
don't have a tank here. I'm currently in an apartment, so next April we're gonna look and try to find a house and everything, and then I'll build a new tank. But certainly itching, man. It's tough to kind of to not have a fish tank. I never thought I'd miss it this much, but I really, really do. And
Yeah.
I work in it every day, but just
Mhm.
not having one just kills me.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird how much they kind of grow on you and becomes like just a part of your day and your life. It's like this void. It's like, where's my tank? I got nothing to tinker with or go to, and it
Yeah,
is.
totally, totally.
Nope, totally does. So yeah, a couple of people in the chat. Congrats on the new job. So that's awesome.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been so far so good, man. It's been really, really fun. Ryan and the crew over there are just awesome guys.
Hmm.
Super fun environment. So I'm pretty stoked. It's
Nope.
like I said, it's been new and different and big for me. But so far we're happy here, man. My kids are loving it, so life is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And the
So
fishing, the fish. We gotta talk about the fishing.
the
So that was
fishing.
like a big thing.
So
I love to bass fish.
I put you on the thumbnail because your Instagram is basically you catching fish. I know that's like
Yeah,
your passion, all your free time. You got the fish tank and then you're out fishing.
yeah.
So
I can't get away from it. But out here, it's just amazing stuff, man. There's more water than I could ever dream to fish, and yeah, that's like a big kicker in why I chose this area. Let's just say.
yeah, we got good fishing. All right, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. So, uh,
What do we
uh,
got?
I was just laughing at the chat.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
they're like, Devin, go pick your family and join BRS also.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Uh,
So products of the year.
yeah.
Like, what are some of the cool stuff that you've seen coming out?
Well, so with my sort of self-imposed hiatus here, I haven't really been to trade shows at all,
Hmm.
which was a pretty regular thing for me. So I didn't really like put my hands on a lot of stuff, but being that I still, work in industry and I'm doing a lot of this product stuff, I have still been involved with all of the new stuff that's come out.
Hmm.
Super exciting. Aqualumination has new lights, the new hydras.
Yeah.
It's just more colors and more power, which is really cool. The lights were super powerful and awesome before, so making
Just
them
in
better,
case you need more, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's another thing. Primes, the new versions of the primes is really neat because
yep.
that's an awesome value for that light. And
Hmm.
they've got the refugium one, freshwater is just growing leaps and bounds. And then they have that old Soul, I think it's the Soul Spectrum they brought back, which was like a
Yep.
real popular blue that everybody loved from like the original AI fixtures. So I thought that was kind of cool throwback, you know?
It's kind of crazy how much of a following that one actually has. So with the primes, that
Yeah,
like the primes are a pretty big good bang for your buck. Like I've
yeah,
always used them on my smaller tanks, and
right.
I've seen tons of people even use them on large tanks. So they are.
Yeah.
I've never used the 32s and the 64s, but again, tons of people love them
Yeah, I
for the
like
different thing.
the 26, so I guess it's the new ones would be the 32. I just kind of like the configuration of the pucks like that, and you can,
Hmm.
do them either parallel or perpendicular, and you can light a huge tank with them. But yeah, the Prime's a killer light, man. That's
Yeah.
actually I like that one for the same reason I like that Nero pump,
Yep.
their pump. It's just compact, the one little cord's nice. They
Hmm.
got the easy control. That app is
App is great.
yeah, I mean, of all the control apps, especially with water flow, like that one's pretty killer.
So okay, so that's the Nero 5, which is out now. Have you seen the
Yep.
new one that's coming out, the Nero 3, the
I
like
saw a
baby version?
picture, and I want to say it was through a feed of yours. I don't know where it was. I want to say this was like a picture that was sourced from Europe, but I don't know. I'm stoked for it though. I know it's a
Mhm.
it's a tiny little guy, right? Like just maybe
Yeah,
2 inches, 3 inches. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it in person. Same thing. I think I someone posted a photo from a trade show somewhere, and I shared it
Yeah.
in the group because I thought it was really cool.
There you go. That's probably
But
what it was. Yeah.
I actually have, not that you can see it, but I have my little temporary tank behind me with the Nero 5 in there, which is a wicked pump. So the 3 will be pretty sweet for nanos and those little systems. Or another thing that I use it too is for my feeding in my sump. So
Feeding.
either for frags, so yeah, so that's another thing I do. So I had it timed so that when my auto feeder
Oh,
kicks
right,
on,
right,
it
right.
drops into the return chamber, and
Uh-huh.
then the pump would turn on at that time and really rock all the food in the thing, so it doesn't have time to settle on the ground. That way, it gets
Right.
sucked into the return pump and feeds the tank,
Oh,
which
that's
has been
awesome,
cool.
man. Yeah. I just like the profile of this pump. I mean, small. The concept
Tiny.
is cool where you can kind of angle it, but the angle is just sort of limited. Doesn't really give you much more than a Vortec in that sense. But I just
Hmm.
like that it's just so small, compact. The one controller in line with the power cord. These days, man, these cords are getting out of control. So it's
Oh,
nice. It's
it's
nice wherever you can save them.
yeah. I don't know if you saw the photo I posted of my lagoon tank in the sump, but I mean, it looks nice and pretty in the sump. But on the back of it, there's like a bazillion wires
I
for
did.
all my
I didn't
power
see the
bricks. And
nest, but I will look for it after this because yeah, I always get a kick out of that stuff. And what really blows me away is when
what?
people can actually clean that stuff up. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? That's not an easy task, man. Gosh, dude, doing that at trade shows and then trying to make it look pretty for video, man, those are some of the most nerve-wracking times. They're just painful because it's like, man, I don't want to spend 4 hours wrapping wire.
The crazy thing on the tray showed side of it is like it is so much work for literally 2 days, and you rip it all down. Like the takedown's not
I
bad, but the
know. Yeah.
setup, so much effort building stands to make it all look pretty and pristine, and it's just for the weekend.
Yeah, I mean it really is fun though. I was telling my coworkers now that's one of the big things I missed this year was just like seeing all my friends, man. Like, gosh, it's been a year
Mhm.
since I've seen you, Devin,
No, I
and
know.
Richard, and Reef News Network, Peter. He's a great guy. I mean,
Mhm.
I just haven't been in touch with these people, and it just feels like so long when it really hasn't been that long. But next
Yeah,
year we'll be back.
that's
I'll
good.
be back in the circuit again, so you guys will see my face.
Sneak you out to some trade shows would be good.
Yeah.
No. What was the last trade show you're at? Was it Magna or which one? Last year?
Uh, yeah, I think it was Matt. Well, no, because Reefapalooza in Orange County at the end of the year.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice,
so that would have been the last one because that was after Mecna. So that
nice.
was it. Hopefully I get back to that show this year. That's my
Mhm.
close to my heart. So
That's your favorite? All right.
yeah, I mean Mecna's really cool. It's hard to say it's my favorite, but
Mhm.
for let's just say camaraderie and community and all the fun stuff from a trade show,
Yeah.
it probably the Orange County one.
Nice. All right. That's the only. No, I haven't been to that one in Chicago yet. It's okay. Maybe next year I'll try and make it.
Yeah, and then they added the Chicago shows. I
Hmm.
think what's it? So Aquashella started there in Chicago, and now Reefapalooza has their Chicago show. Um, what did they? Oh, Dallas, right? They added one in Texas, is what Aquashella did.
Yeah. Isn't it
Yeah,
crazy how many shows are popping up now?
it's great, man. It's awesome. Like
It
just to
is.
know
It's
that like our tiny little community can support all this, and there's enough excitement.
and they're still
It's neat.
growing. They keep on coming. It's crazy.
I know it's cool. I think it's just becoming more accessible. Obviously, the wonderful
Hmm.
internets and access to free information has a lot to do with it. But
Yes.
uh, yeah, it's just neat to see. I don't know, younger reefers and people get into the hobby more excited about it and getting to that point where they're successful quicker.
Yeah, that's a huge
That's
thing.
pretty amazing. I see a lot of these guys on Instagram is where I kind of notice a lot is like
Yeah.
you see these tanks and they're gorgeous, they're beautiful,
Mhm.
but the tank's not been around for much much longer than a year. But these guys, they're having success and they're doing the right thing and they're saying things that where I kind of would expected for more seasoned reefer prior.
Mhm. Well, I don't know. Personally, I think the big reason, one, there's so much more information online on the internet to do it, and the
Yeah.
equipment too is a lot better, and that's a big
Oh,
chunk of it, right?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
think 5, 6 years ago, everyone's struggling to get nutrients down. Now people are trying to fight to bring them back up. It's funny
Yeah.
how like the balance has shifted.
Yep. Definitely.
Yep.
So I guess we can go back to chords because there's kind of a big one that's
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about.
yeah, the
The
new hydro stuff from CoralView is really cool. They have that
mm,
wave engine
wave
out.
engine. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of like I mean it's a control platform, but basically allows
Mhm.
you to control a myriad of different brand pumps from like a single platform. It
Mhm.
has I'm pretty sure it has all the native controls, but it also replaces the power supplies for
That's
not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah, and that's actually for me. That's one of the biggest sells to not have a bazillion power supplies. That's a
Yeah, I
sweet
mean that's
feature.
the ticket right there,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, like it's nice to control in one app, but just like one thing to plug everything into.
Yeah,
To me,
no,
that's a selling feature. I
yeah.
mean, I haven't used it, so I can't say,
Hmm.
but that's just as third party view. I'm like, oh, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Declutter so much in your sound.
yeah,
It looked
definitely.
cool though. The demos at Macna.
Yeah, and the quality of it's nice too. I really like the way it looks and everything. I mean, I guess what I'm more excited about because Wave Engine, the concept's great and it's there and
Hmm.
it's cool, but I know they're making a controller and they've got some other stuff in the works within that sort of Hydros realm, which is super exciting. To
Yeah.
kind of see what's coming next and see you know some different ones sort of on the rise and see what other
Well,
takes we can have on this control.
the big thing for me, like the Hydros one is, or the Hydros, I think it's Hydros.
It's
The
Hydros, yeah,
the controller
Hydros.
is it's cheap. Like
Yeah,
compared to all
yeah,
the other ones on the market, it is very affordable. Like it's
yeah.
very budget friendly reefer. So I
Definitely, man.
think
It's
that's
the what's it? The Reef Keeper Lite, man. That was the thing.
yeah, but with more.
Yeah, with more, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
cool part too, is you're gonna get the monitoring and be able to control things off parameters and stuff. I think that Reef Keeper Lite, you could really only do pH within the
Hmm.
price point, and temperature.
Yep.
So that's exciting. Yeah. Next
It
year's
is.
gonna be a good one for that. I'm definitely excited to see, how it's received, and
Mhm.
how well they did with it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out once we actually use it, but I don't know. I think that price point they're going to do very well with it because it's
Yeah,
an easy sell, right?
sure.
For a couple $100, you got everything.
It's
So,
powerful, that's for sure.
yep. Which is good. And the one other cool thing is the power bars and stuff are wireless. You don't have to be running cables. So if you have like
Yeah,
a mixing station like down the hall, you can be controlling it just by using that power bar plugin. So that's cool. I
definitely.
do.
So mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, it's not wireless is not as reliable, but
Sure, yeah.
depends on the technology.
I
But
know that they've done a lot. They've really worked hard to ensure the reliability.
mhm.
And I know there's actually some research out there that gosh, I should have read it before I came on here, but they did some new stuff to kind of ensure that reliability and like a connection and having a solid fallback. So I'll check it out and maybe we'll talk about it later.
Okay, no, that sounds good. Another cool one. I don't know if you've seen this one yet, but I've been beta testing the last few months for Mobius, which is
Oh yeah,
Ecotech's
the
new
Ecotech
control
platform,
program.
super cool. I haven't seen it yet, man. Gosh, I don't have a tank, so
Ah,
yeah, no, I was kind of bummed earlier in the year. Yeah, but next year I'll get
okay.
around to it.
I'll maybe I'll do a stream on this next week or something. But yeah, super cool. You can just add all your stuff and create scenes in there.
Yeah, I'm
And
excited, man. They always do such a bang up job on this stuff,
yeah,
man. It's just clean and finished, and it's
mhm,
exciting times.
yep. I'm just throwing this one out because that's kind of we're talking about the controllers. I
Sure, sure,
actually was at Ecotech a week or two ago and filmed some videos with them about it. So I will. I
nice.
still got to edit it, but
We'll
it's
get to work, man.
I know. But it's like a controller without having a controller. So all the equipment works together, but you don't
Yeah,
actually have to buy a controller. It just
sure.
slowly tacks on interface to each other. And Gabe, thank you for the $2 coffee fund.
Nice.
Uh, so yeah, I thought that's pretty cool. So it's another twist on it. If you already have this gear, you're essentially building a controller without even knowing about it.
Right, yeah. No, that's cool. And then, their new dosing pump, which
Hmm.
is I think the first
Ooh,
Mobius
Versa.
product, right?
Yep.
the Versa, yeah, the first Mobius product or Mobius controlled product.
Hmm.
It's coming pretty soon too. I know. Um, yeah, it's quickly coming around. So I'm pretty sure it'll be available for order before the end of the year. Um, but that's awesome. It's really neat, that pump, man. It's got a nice
Hmm.
motor in it. I think you can go, I'm not sure exactly how low you can go, but I mean, you can go uber slow and then also really fast. So it can work from feeding reactors to dosing to feeding. I mean, all kinds of stuff, you know. Whereas before, you kind of have to buy two separate pumps for those sort of
Yep.
things. So have
Hmm.
that, single capability in a app controlled dosing pump. It's gonna be pretty nice. You don't
That'd
have
be
to
cool.
multiple boxes everywhere.
Don't 100% quote me, but I think it was zero point 0.1 of a mil. So like you can use it for
Yeah,
ultra
I was
precise
gonna say
trace
it's
element.
below one. I remember it was below 1 mil.
Mm. Or
Or
you could do
1.0.
a massive volume to do like a massive water change, which is cool.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
very
neat.
versatile, or versa, I guess that's where
Yeah,
the
I'm
name comes
excited to
from.
see too how they, um, what kind of stuff they come out with in Mobius over the next few years, or there's probably exists now. Like the auto water change, the top off features, and some of the pre-programmed things
Hmm.
in there. I'm curious to see how they do it with these pumps.
Hmm. Well, the cool thing is like the one pump, because you could be so precise or so wide, and because it will interface with Mobius. I mean, it could be your auto top off, it could be your water change. You could feed your calcium reactor. You can do your trace elements. Like there's such a wide variety. So that is going to be a pretty big game changer one, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And then from what they tell me,
Hmm.
it's got the not only the motor but the gears in it are very specific to the way that the wheels turn. I'm
Hmm.
probably not using the right words here, but it's nice to see them pay such close attention to the things that hobbyists tell you. It's like
Hmm.
how many dosing pumps have I burned out because it's just those little wheels just get burned
Yeah.
out. The plastic start. I mean, gotta have them melt before. So it's nice to see them, pay attention to those big things that annoy hobbyists.
No, exactly. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I was just amazed. One thing that kind of amazed me when I was there is they
Hmm.
build so much of the stuff in house. Like
Yeah, yeah,
most companies, they outsource to China and stuff. Like they have like SMD machines making their printing their circuit boards. Like it was crazy how much they
that's
actually
awesome,
do.
man. Yeah,
Like it's
that's
gonna be a
cool.
cool video when I do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get a lot of like sort of behind the scenes stuff
Yeah,
and whatnot? Oh, that's awesome, man.
yeah. I did a
I'm
full behind the scenes video and
a
lots
little
of really
jelly,
cool
but
B-roll.
excited to see it, man.
Yeah, so we'll see. I still got to edit it. I still got to get to it, but
That's
Uh,
cool.
Drama D Refi Duo Extreme. I have not seen that before yet, so I
What is
can't
it?
comment on that one. It's an LED fixture. Just quickly Googled it.
Reef I do extreme up.
Haven't heard of that one not yet though.
No, neither do I.
Yep.
There was one that was talking about that Philips Reef LED. Whatever happened to that thing? That thing's supposed to come back around. Have you heard anything about it?
Yeah, Coral View posted recently. They picked it up.
Nice.
So
That's must have been what brought it to the front of my
yep.
attention here. That thing's
So
supposed to be cool. It's like similar to Orfect. I really like
mhm.
that.
The
I
big
know.
panel basically,
Yeah,
like
but a big panel type spread as opposed to like concentrated pucks.
mhm.
It's really effective. I know you can cover a large area and you can still get a great spectrum, still get great blending if it's done right. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where that comes in and falls into the industry. I
Mhm.
mean, it's going to be quality. I've
Yep.
seen some of the prototypes and whatnot. So
Mhm.
hopefully, lives
My
up to
own
the hype.
exactly. My only one little bit is it aesthetically, if they can make it a bit sleeker looking, it's very industrial. So if you had it inside of like a canopy or something, who cares? But if it's on like an open top, it's very beefy. Emmanuel Pama. Tell Robert that Manny sends love.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's an old Marine
Yeah.
Depot coworker. Is who that
Oh,
is.
nice. Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, he's a good guy. He's a real good guy. But yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, lots of love. Thank you, Manuel.
Yeah.
uh, okay. Other cool stuff coming out. So we talked about pump. So there's like obviously the Nero. We got the Nero 5s out, the Nero 3s coming
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
There's the
here's one.
little gyres.
Yeah, the little ice cap
That's it.
gyres, pump wise. I thought that little tiny one was really cool. I'm trying to
Hmm.
find your screen back. There you are.
Yep.
Um, I feel like I have to be looking at you when I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really excited about that tiny little gyre pump, the ice cap one when it first came out. It's just neat, it's so versatile and I mean, I guess the shape of it is a little limiting, but just the way that you can mount that thing in a fish tank, I think you can do more and it'll accommodate more like a wider variety of aquascapes and still
Hmm.
move the water without having to put pumps
Yep.
everywhere. So that's pretty neat.
No,
Um,
I've actually seen people. Moki, one buddy, he literally had a gyre and just took off half of it to like make
yeah,
his own baby version before.
yeah, yeah,
So I was like, oh, there you go,
yeah.
actual
I
product.
think I'm not sure which model does it, but it's just you just take off the one half and put a cap on it, right? And then it essentially just functions like half of a gyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
If it's the one I recall from Macna, I feel like you could split it in half and have two halves of the pump. Like there's two motors, each with the blades, so it could act as one unit, or you could have two separate units. If that's the same one I'm thinking of, which is
So
kind of cool.
was your tank just being topped off? It totally just heard like a pump turn on.
That might have been my mic.
Oh, there you go.
The wire's a bit flaky.
There you go.
One day I'll
Uh,
replace it.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's a,
in the new ones, the ice caps, the
mhm,
controller is backwards compatible, so that's neat because if you already own one of the first gens, so the 1K or the 3K,
mhm.
you can just use the new controller.
Nice. That's all
Yeah,
right.
they're pretty cool.
Bonus. Do appreciate that whenever they do backwards compatible. Makes an easy upgrade for
Yeah,
people. So
yeah, definitely. I think it was, yeah, I was gonna say max spec. I know like the newest max specs, they didn't. That was a XF 350s, like that 300 series. They're not. I don't think they're backwards compatible completely.
mhm.
I think it's like new controller and everything.
Yep. Speaking of Max Spect, their new dual big beefy double pump skimmer.
Oh yeah, the Aero Aqua. There you go, Aero Aqua skimmer. That thing's cool, man. There's been a lot of hype around that thing. It's kind of a long time coming. I remember, gosh, I want to say it was 2 years ago. It's been a while since I first saw that skimmer. It was like right around the same. It wasn't long after that turbine pump came out.
Turbine dual pump.
Yeah, and then they had then they had the skimmer sort of model or prototype or idea.
Mhm.
And it looked pretty solid and finished at the time that I saw it. So it's cool to finally see it come to market. I'm excited to see. I don't know anybody that's using it personally,
Mhm.
but I'm excited for it. It should be good.
Yeah. I know one guy that has it. I'll have to bug him and see how he's liking it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm curious to know if you're just using like half the pump or both of them, and what kind of difference he's seeing.
Hmm. No, exactly. What else? Okay, what else is cool for on the thing?
Oh gosh.
Oh, new product I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Microbactors. The X, what is it? Smart XLM.
Oh, the live bacteria from Brightwell. Yeah, no,
Right.
this
Well,
is
yep.
actually really cool because it's like it's a living bacteria, so it
Mhm.
works much quicker than some of the other like so say Microbacter 7
Yep.
or
Speaking of, since I have a bottle on my desk.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Which works great, man, but that's a
Mhm.
dormant bacteria. And so this new Microbacter Start, they've figured out, I think they've done a lot of developing on it, but it's
Mhm.
sort of a preserved live bacteria, and so it'll start going to work almost right away,
Mhm.
and detoxifying ammonia, and then you'll have it cycled within 5 to 7 days. I want to say they said
Yeah,
they're
that's what I was heard. Now
yeah.
it's a lot more concentrated. It's supposed to be like hyper concentrated, but big
Oh,
thing
really?
is it doesn't have to be refrigerated. Like it's
Yeah.
very stable at temperature,
That
which
yeah, that was
is
my
most
point.
of them are not. So that's a big selling feature for it.
Yeah, God, I remember. I'm not gonna say the right numbers, but I want to say it was like a huge range, like down to like 40 degrees and up to like
Hmm.
90 degrees or something.
Yeah.
And it's got a long shelf life too. I remember him saying it was over a year
Hmm.
that it had a viable shelf life. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. Especially because it's gosh, remember back in the day, what was it? Biospira was the one. I mean, you had to travel to like 8 different fish stores just to find one guy that had one thing in stock, and then it was stinky and smelled like eggs when you opened it. So, um,
Yep.
yeah, man, it's nice to, that technology is helping us out and being able to, have access to these cool products easier is nice.
No, exactly. So yeah, I'm curious to try it. I've used Dr. Tim's in the past. I've used the Fritz Turbo Start in the past. So this
Yep,
time I'm going to use the new Brightwell one once I get the new tank rolling in a
there
couple
you go.
weeks.
There you go.
So
What new tank, man? How many new tanks you got? Making me all jealous over here.
just two, just two.
Okay, so
Okay,
you
so
go ahead.
my
Yeah, give me the rundown.
my theory is if you have to move a tank anyways, you might as well upgrade it.
There you go.
Since we got a house and we're moving, it just made sense to upgrade.
There you go. All right.
Right?
So you took the big tank down and you're getting an even bigger one, and
Slightly
then you
bigger.
built this lagoon tank, right?
Yes. So the
Okay.
lagoon tank is currently actually right beside me, so we can see the lovely blue glow on the side of my face.
There you go.
That one's holding about 80% of the rock and coral from my big tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another tank behind me on the floors with the temporary one with the rest of the rock. So I got a couple of fish in there. I still got to catch the rest of them tonight and put them in their respective tanks.
There you go. Did
But
you figure out what you're gonna store them in? The
uh,
big ones?
yeah, there's like Yeah, there's a little 3-foot tank behind me. Might be their home for a couple of weeks
There you
until
go.
the 6-footer shows up.
Well, good luck, man. I hope it all goes smooth for you. It's
Thank you, thank
always
you.
a scary thing moving
Mm,
fish, and
yep.
well, and coral, but coral are maybe a little easier. The fish are
Mm,
what make me, I guess,
yeah.
anxious.
Yeah, I moved 4 of them so far in the lagoon, and they're all happy. The rest are living in my fairly empty tank. So
Cool.
nice job.
Well, there are a couple new things from Bulk Reef Supply we can talk about, which are really
Oh ho
awesome.
ho!
Yeah,
I saw this lovely new heater controller and heaters.
yeah, man, that's pretty exciting.
Hmm.
I know it was sort of a long time developing. It was already set in stone before I sort of came into the picture, but it's solid, man. So they're smaller titanium heating elements. So what we're used to is kind of these large, massive. God, what was the one? I think Wan Brothers made one, and then gosh, there was another one. Anyway, they're just huge. They're big,
Yeah,
and so when you get into like these 300-watt heaters.
they're huge.
Yeah, I think the Eheim Jaeger, like their 300
That's
watt heater is like 2 feet long. It's
Yeah. I have
ginormous.
just two 100 watts on my sump right now, and it takes up like half the chambers. It's like I needed something smaller.
Yeah, and then
So
like when you actually do get it in there, I feel like it's half of it's sticking out of the water. You're gonna start a fire. Um, uh, yeah, so these ones are measuring. I think the biggest one's 14 inches. I want to say. I think I wrote it
mhm.
down somewhere. Let me see.
Yeah, I believe it's 10 to 14 if
10 to 40.
memory
Yeah, so
serves
the
correct.
smaller, like starting at 100 watt all the way through
Hmm.
600 watt. Um, and so the biggest one's like 14 and a quarter inches long. So.
Okay,
Manageable
nice.
size, and then a separate controller with replaceable
Hmm.
parts. So, you've got a programmable and calibratable controller with it. You can replace the temp probe.
Hmm.
You can just, swap out the controller or the relay, which is what's probably going to go bad.
Yeah,
That heating element should last you a long time. So,
you can swap out just the relay.
well, no, I'm sorry, the controller
Okay, okay,
itself. Yeah,
okay.
no,
Yeah.
not just the relay, but
That'd be
the,
cool.
controller houses the relay. Yeah, separate. I don't, just because it's for safety, it's got to be hardwired in,
Yeah,
so it'd
that's
be
fair.
tough to like plug it, and then you'd have this
That's
another
true. It's high voltage. So
another point of failure. Yeah, dangerous.
yeah, okay, fair enough,
um,
fair enough. They're not.
but
They're
I mean,
fairly inexpensive at least,
that's the
right?
thing. Like the controllers, basic, I guess technology in there. I mean, it's only going to get less expensive in time. It's pretty, it's not way fancy stuff. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I can't imagine it being too
Okay.
much of a.
So anyone watching right now, if you do not have a controller in your tank, buy your controller. Like hands down, safety first.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Not only safety, but it's just like,
It is safety.
oh
A
yeah.
heater sticking on is the number one thing to cook a tank or kill a
Okay,
tank.
so safety for your fish in sense. I
Yes.
always think, but yes, I mean it is definitely one of the biggest things you can buy. I mean, I remember the first day I got a controller in general was kind
Hmm.
of like the same time. It was back, and it was that Reef Keeper, man. It was the first one that like was my foray into this control realm or advanced control realm.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was blown away because I'm used to like it was the Eheims, man, taking the two
Hmm.
dials and turning them and always being frustrated with never knowing exactly what temperature. I
This is
mean,
my
now I
last
feel
2
like
days.
I can literally like guess, the specific or salinity of the fish tank and the temperature like by tasting it. I've done it so much.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's awesome. In
yeah,
the chats, I am the controller. You are the controller, but you're not always there, and that's when things go bad.
true.
But
I like the KISS approach myself.
mhm.
I really like simple things and sort of minimalist. I don't like to add more things than are
Oh.
necessary. Like I do love to play with technology and things like that, and that's always fun. But
Mhm.
it's that execution. It's kind of like less is more. And there's a few companies that really do it right,
Yep.
where you put a very powerful product into a minimal package,
Mhm.
and I think that's the ticket.
I overkill things. I can't help myself.
Oh, I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, man. I get all excited,
Okay.
and especially being the industry I work in, it's like,
Mhm.
man, I get excited about everything. I don't. It's
On
hard
my
for. Go ahead.
no, I was just laughing with the heaters. I have two half-size heaters plugged into a controller, plugged into an aquarium controller.
There you go. Yeah,
There's like
exactly.
4 levels of redundancy. I'm
Triple
like,
redundancy. Yeah, but hey, man, it's a heater. And then what
yeah.
I was getting back for, or before was that just being able to trust that it's gonna do what you tell it to do gives you lots of peace of mind.
Mhm. Nope, definitely does.
So also BRS came out with some foods. So this is really cool. This probably has me. I mean, the heaters are awesome, but
Yep.
who doesn't love feeding their fish, man?
Okay.
And
Okay. Tell me more. I'm in the blank on some of this food stuff.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So we came out with a line of, I think there's 15 different types of food. So there's, I want to say there's 5 or 6 different types of seaweed.
Mm-hmm.
There is about 6 different, I'll call them microfeeds, but they're just very small particle things. So you have like a spirulina powder,
Mm-hmm.
you have a calanus, like cyclopes, you've got a
Now, are these all like powdery foods for?
well, that's the thing
Yeah.
is like they kind of vary.
Okay.
Let me get back at it. I'll look at it real quick here. But and then we've got 4 large like freeze dried foods. So you have like your
Mm-hmm.
freeze dried brine, mysis, krill,
Mm-hmm.
and let me see. I'll have them in front of me in just a second here. Yeah, so
Okay.
mysis, brine shrimp, krill. Oh, and then the calanus is
Yeah.
the larger container. So that's like the probably used to be called cyclopes.
Yep.
It's like a little copepod.
Nice.
But then yeah, all the others. So there's brine shrimp eggs, which we know what those are.
Mm-hmm.
There's dried rotifers, copepods. It's a
Nice.
product called golden pearls, which is like a real high protein for like fish breeding is what it really came from.
Yeah.
And the idea here is to create your own food.
Okay.
So what you do is you can go out and get seafood.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great video about it actually, which Ryan or
Yeah.
Andy sat there
Yeah, I
and
watched
played.
that one.
Yeah, they played chef, so it was really cool. But what I like about it is it's just kind of fun to do, and you can make them small batches, so freshness is always there, which is kind of neat. You do it
Mm-hmm.
with your friends, which is neat. Share it, and you can add these different things together, and I think I just maybe
Nice.
find it neat more than anything.
It'd be fun.
And good nutrition goes a long way. I think it's pretty understated what all of us think of fish food, and you think of a flake. You think of a flake food, and it's neat. I think that we're paying more attention to like this, varied diets and balanced nutrition, and it goes a long way with not only the way your fish look, but how long they live too.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I figured that out, like fat fish or happy fish, you know, that
Yeah.
was kind of like a turning point for me. It's like, oh, well, because they beat this don't overfeed into your head, right? For so many years, it's like, don't
Mm-hmm.
overfeed, don't overfeed. But at the same time, fish are opportunistic and they're eating all day long. And so
Mm-hmm.
you really want to, stuff their bellies as much as you can, but at the same time, not grow a bunch of algae and get a bunch of waste. So
Yeah.
it's that fine line, and I think that using these nutrient dense
Mm-hmm.
foods and varied foods is really going to go a long way.
Yeah. No, it does. And there's a lot of other things to take into account. Like, I know there's a lot of like captive bird angels, all these cool fish you're starting to see pop up on the market.
Yep,
And if
very
a fish is well fed, it's not necessary is less likely to pick at corals or cause trouble in your
good
tank,
point. Yeah,
right?
definitely.
If they're hungry, they're gonna start nipping and trying different things.
Yep.
So they're more docile. They're not going to be as aggressive. Like there's a lot of things that just keep your tank happier. Like even besides the fish health, which is a huge part, but
Hmm.
just all the other parts, like the mentality of the like everything that goes around it is also going to kind of improve. So
No, it's a great point. Yeah, great point.
yep. Hmm.
Um, so it's pretty exciting. I have yet to do it myself, but I will do that the first thing. I'm a big fans of like the Rods food and LRS. I've fed those foods for a long time now. I want to say
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, like solely on Rod's foods, and with all the different blends he has pretty much filled the niche. I would experiment with different pellets and flakes here and there, but generally
Hmm.
speaking, I am a frozen food man, so
Me
it'll be
too.
neat to be able to make my own.
Heck yeah. No, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. We'll see what kind of special blend you come up with later. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
no, gosh, look at that, man. We can make like recipes and share them and,
That'd
make
be
them
fun.
different things. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I'm actually just looking at the beer site now. There's a ton of different kind of powders and different add-ins and stuff you can do. It's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
and then like you can add aminos, you can add Celcon, you got vitamin additives, you got garlic you can add. I mean, there's all those different things you can kind of experiment with, which is kind of neat.
Hmm.
What else we got on there, Devin? Did we hit the
All
whole
right.
list?
Probably not. A bunch of people are asking some different questions
Sure.
around testers.
Testers, what kind of
Yeah.
test? Like
Like
anna checkers and stuff?
yeah, and reef bots and all that type of stuff.
Oh, you know what? I had that. I remember. I want to talk about. So, the Reef Kinetics.
Yep.
You have one, don't you?
I do have one.
And what's the verdict, man?
It tests every Friday for me. I don't
Nice.
have to do it.
Do you publish like the results anywhere?
No, I should though. Maybe I should.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
So, because I'm using calcium reactor, so I have an alkatronic, which tests my elk every 12 hours.
Right.
Calcium, I don't really care to test because it's always good from the calcium reactor. So I have it testing magnesium, nitrates, and phosphates. It does that once a week.
Nice.
But,
and so far, so good in terms of like reliability, the accuracy, and stuff like that.
Nope, it's been solid.
Cool.
The
Have
biggest
you really checked it? Like, let's just say you let it test and then go back in with like a Red Sea or Salford or
I did
or something.
I did randomly for the first few weeks, and then it was pretty consistent, so I just stopped checking.
Yeah. I mean, it uses the reagents, right, from all these test kits, so you're gonna get the same thing.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's only as good as a reagent, right? If your reagent expires or something else, then I mean, it's likely off.
Yeah.
But the big thing for me is you can test the frequency you want. Like most testers, you have to test 2 or 4 times a day as a minimum. But like to me, like testing my magnesium or nitrates, all that stuff, it doesn't change that much in a day. Like it's a waste of reagent. So I like that I can say test once a week or test every second week.
So
like
the programming option is there. Does it have like a reagent monitoring system, like to where it tells you like, hey, calcium reagent A is low?
Yeah. So you tell it what it has in it. You tell it when you refill it, and it knows how much it takes out. So it kind of keeps track of how much.
And then
left.
it's all of the reagents are sort of programmed in there. Yeah, and they can update. As new test kits come out, they can just shoot the programming right into the machine.
Yep.
That's neat, man. I remember seeing it for the first time. I was kind of blown away. I was like, man, I think all of us have like thought about this at one point, but never really like had the balls to build it. So it's pretty cool, man. They went all out with it, and then they got a bigger one, right?
Yeah, the Pro, which is like a massive
like ginormous. And that just handles more reagents, right?
Yeah, so it's about 30 vials, and it's faster. It's more aimed at like a fish store or something where you have every freaking test kit there is, and someone could come in and get their water tested. Like that's what it's aimed at.
That's like the whole. I remember, ICP mail-in, all that came in. It was like, well, why don't we just have an ICP machine in the fish store? Yeah, probably because they cost $1 bajillion. But
so it's the cheaper option.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see something like this where it's almost like a self-serve water test that you can be almost 100% confident that you're gonna get pretty darn close to where you're at.
Like the biggest thing is even if the results were like slightly a little bit off, it's the fact that it's a robot doing the identical method every single time.
Yep. And so you eliminate that human error aspect of it altogether.
Yeah,
it's just like what you get with the Hannah checkers, or similar anyway.
But even with Hannah checker, did you got that little titrator? Yeah,
you're right. There's still some aspect.
There's human element.
Yeah. So certainly exciting, man. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you like it. I remember reading about you getting one. You posted about it a little bit, but I was curious to ask you about it. And our conversations prior today, we didn't even talk about it. So that's cool, man.
For testing stuff that you don't want to test every single day, I think that's where it really shines because it's cheap to run then, and you could test once a month, you could test once a week, you could test every hour, whatever you want.
I mean, there's no control capability with this thing. It's all just for like a monitoring purpose, right?
Yeah, they are coming out with a doser. It may not be out. I know they had like the demo at MACNA, and which you could hook up to dose based off your results.
Okay, so it will control that.
If I was to test every single day with it, then I think the reagents would annoy me because the vials only hold, like I feel like you'd run through it too fast on certain ones. So I did give them that feedback, and they are coming out with like a double the size vial. So that'll be a future.
And is that the vial that it tests in, or the vial that holds the reagent?
The reagents.
Oh, okay. So you just don't have a lot of space for reagent in there.
Well, you get like 20, 30 tests. Like depends on the test kit.
I got you.
But if you test every single day, then you'd be filling it monthly. But right now, I fill it like once every like 6 months to a year. So
storing. So you buy your Red Sea test kit and you fill the little vials, and so you still are storing away the leftover sort of reagent because you're not using it all. Okay.
It basically takes most of a bottle. Then you're good till then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. It's like. I hate to say it's just like, well, I still got to buy test kits, and I mean, it is performing it for you. It's performing a very, very serious service here, a very nice service that I don't know many people who actually like to water test. So there's value in it, but it would certainly be cool if we could do away with having to buy the test kits.
Well, okay, so here's the thing: even every test kit out there needs a reagent, and the new ones are coming out with the ion probes. Like I know GHL is coming out with one. I know Alkatronic. I believe their Mastertronic has one too. Thanks for the super chat, Rogues Aquarium, $4.99. Mighty kind.
You gotta have me on more often, huh?
I know, right? um, so a lot of them, and then the coral views Abex or something, Abeta, whatever it is, something like that. So a lot of them are using the
Oh,
ion
the
probes.
the alkalinity monitors.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah,
but they
yeah.
do the other stuff. So, but those, they don't have reagent, but they still have a calibrations fluid, right? But none of them are released yet. So it's not like how much does it use it? Does it do it every test? Like, so you still have a
Oh, I
consumable.
see where you're getting at with it. Yeah, so there's
Hmm.
still a consumable,
Yeah.
item with it, whatever here or there. Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I mean,
Hmm.
there's definitely a huge benefit to um, being compatible with all of these different reagents because, all of us have different test kits and having
Hmm.
this like, I don't know, for me, it's super awesome to be able to do like, let's just say 5 alkalinity tests from
Hmm.
5 different brands.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Have you done that yet?
No,
Oh,
I
we got to
haven't
do
even
that.
used it for
I
elk
mean,
because I
it
have
can
the,
do that though, right? Like you
it
could
can.
set it to do like
Yep.
a Nios one, an Elos one, a Red Sea one.
It
It's
would be
all
a
for work.
cool. It would be a cool task, but then once you get your results, and you're like, all right, now what? All I got is elk and more elk and
Oh,
more.
well, this is what you do, man. You just show us cool stuff.
We test this
Put it on
brand on
YouTube.
Monday, this one on Tuesday. Every day it's a different test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I would just it would just be a fun thing to look at and like
Yeah.
see how big the gamut is, like to see the
Hmm.
variance of these things, like it could be very, very minute or it could be huge.
That's
I
true.
think I know the answer, but
That would be interesting, though. That would be interesting. Maybe
yeah,
one day
it'd be a cool
I'll
point.
try it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
another
another.
one.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Another one people have mentioned like 5 times in the chat now is the
Mhm.
Mind Stream. I
Yeah,
haven't
man.
used that. It's an interesting device, though.
It is. It's cool. I've seen it. Put my hands on it. I know a couple
Yep.
guys that are beta testing with them. I mean, the concept's really, really cool, man. I mean, you
Hmm.
got this wireless in-tank monitor that you can do all kinds of cool stuff with, and it's like, you know, it will do the cycling parameters, so your ammonia,
Hmm.
nitrate, nitrate. I'm gonna say that they have phosphate in there. Then the regulars like pH. They can do alk and calcium and mag. I mean, geez, what
Hmm.
more could you ask for?
Pretty much.
Tiny little device, and
Nitrate and phosphate.
it seems, yeah, it
Hmm.
seems as though they're really taking the time to develop this thing right because it's
Hmm.
been a concept for 5
5, 6
years. Yeah,
years. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But you keep hearing about it. It's not like it went away. And they're whatever news you do hear about it, it's kind of like, well, we're working on it. We just developed this. We got past that, and so I guess there's something good to say about that. Is they're really taking
Hmm.
the time to make sure that they put something out that actually lives up to the promises. Because
Hmm.
I think if it does, we're on the verge of a game changer there, man.
Yep. That'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that'll be save everybody a lot of time and hassle,
Well,
and goodbye
think
test kits.
think how much easier it is to keep your tank when you have something that automatically tests, daily, weekly, whatever it is. You can look at your app. You're like, oh, this is trending up or down. Oh, I'll tweak my doser. Or like, oh, this, okay, I'll feed a bit less. Like, it just makes the hobby that much easier.
Well, and like you said trending, and that's a huge thing
Hmm.
because talk about the time in the day that you have. Like I remember myself, like sometimes I'd make adjustments on a single test result, and it's like you just
Hmm.
can't do that. Like you need to give it time and have these multiple days of tests.
Hmm.
But the hard part is you're staring at something that's suffering likely,
Hmm.
or at least it appears, or now you've got this guilt in the back of your mind, like I'm not doing it right. There's something screwed up in there, and
Hmm.
so it's hard to let it go on for that long and then make your changes after. So
Hmm.
definitely,
It's
some
true.
peace of mind or ease of use. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the word for it, but yeah, it's definitely nice.
All that data just makes the hobby easier and makes people more successful. So it's
Sure.
good stuff.
I guess it's
Uh,
confidence. Yeah,
yeah.
confidence in what
Mhm.
your test results.
Another one someone just mentioned a few minutes ago I saw go by was a frozen fish feeder, which was kind of cool. I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
I've seen a couple, but which one are we talking
Mhm.
about?
It was like a little cube with one of those little Petri coolers, like they use in a water cooler type of thing, and it kept it
Okay.
frozen in like a little disc so it would drop it. So it's like your vacation feeder.
Yeah,
You
no,
can have your week's worth of cubes.
I've seen some. There's some other designs out there that are real interesting. Some
Hmm.
involve like making your own sort of frozen food sticks, and it's like
The
a slowly
popsicle one.
yeah, the popsicle
Yeah.
one. um, I'm excited to see where this goes. Like that, the one you're mentioning here, it kind of reminds me of the old like lifeguard auto fish feeder. It kind of has this wheel with a bunch of blocks.
Hmm.
Um, excited to see where it goes because that's the first one that I've ever seen that was like, well, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
Um, but
Like.
I'm keeping frozen fish food above my tank. Does it really say frozen? Yeah,
Hmm.
those are the obviously obvious questions for these things. But
Yeah.
it's exciting to see that they finally made one that like seems acceptable.
it's a cool, like, I don't know if I'd leave it on there every day, but it's a cool vacation thing, right? If you're out of town,
Oh,
because
totally. Yeah.
usually all I have someone do is like feed my fish, right? Like,
Yeah.
or feed them frozen or nori
Yep.
or whatever.
Yep.
Someone needs a nori feeder. That's what I need next. Frozen and a nori feeder.
Yeah. Yeah. That
That's
would be
tricky.
tough because the nori just like disintegrate. It's just yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of cool.
Well, I just put the flakes in. Yeah, but then they can't graze, I guess, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, at least they'll get the food.
Yeah, the best system I've had so far is it auto feeds through the return pump, so it fires them into the tank slowly. Just do little
Yeah,
mini ones of that, because then the fish just see them fly out over the tank and they chase them down. And
keeps them active.
yep, that's my
Like
vacation feed mode.
the carrot in front of the horse, man.
No,
Keep them going.
exactly. What else you got? Any other cool stuff you've seen on the horizon?
Let's go back here. Oh man, here's one. Red Sea. Now that's been a big year for them. I mean, I think they announced all they were going to do all this stuff last year, but man, they came out with the skimmer and the LED light, and man,
Yes,
that's
they
kind of a smash
did.
hit, dude. They're doing a really good job. I was impressed with both of those. Those skimmers seem to be really well received. People are loving them.
Hmm.
And then the LED light looks killer, man. The spectrum's good. The profile's nice. Control is spot on, with like the pre-programmed settings where it gives you flexibility, but not too much to where you're gonna be killing stuff or having a hard time getting it to an
Hmm.
acceptable level of light.
Yep.
So I think
So
they hit all the important points.
the skimmers, just pulled up a photo of that one. So I
Sure.
think one of the BRS videos, those are one of the more popular ones, weren't they? I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. No, they
Hmm.
just did that. Like best of 2019 protein skimmers, and yeah, that
Yeah.
one was on the list. I think there was, I want to say five or six different skimmers, and
Hmm.
yeah, in terms of most popular in 2019, I think for the entire year it was beat out by a reef octopus one.
Hmm.
Um, but if you narrow that down to the last few months,
Hmm.
you're looking at the Red Sea was the most popular in terms of number of skimmers sold. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, like I said, it's been really well received. It's nice, got some cool features.
Hmm.
I love that long drain tube, handle on the cup.
Built-in neck cleaner is kind of a cool touch. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the just sort of manual one that you
Yeah.
turn. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, it's just certainly some ingenious things like it's just well thought out, well executed, which is really really cool to see something like a protein skimmer. It's been
Hmm.
done 1,000, a lot,
How do you
and
change it?
so yeah, so to like have a new fresh take on it's kind of cool, and just to see they just put the thought ingenuity into it, so it was cool.
Hmm.
Let me see.
Dramedy in the chat saying DC return pumps. Definitely tons of those out now.
Yeah, DC pumps.
Yep.
Actually, I wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Hmm.
So, we're battery backups are huge, and so now the Vectra, you could run it off the battery, with the
Hmm.
additional. I think you double them up, and then you've got a different power supply for them.
Yep. So I moved the box.
Yeah,
Okay. So with the Ecotech, okay. So one of my like big selling features for me, the Ecotech, is it's so easy to battery backup all of them.
yeah,
Like you can buy the Ecotech branded one, you could DIY one. Either way, super easy to have battery backup,
yeah.
which is important because if your power goes out, flow is number one important thing in your tank.
Yeah.
So the fact that you could have a single power and battery backup return pump and like super easy to do is a huge plus. So yeah, the Vectra return pump needs this little battery booster because it's 36 volts, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the MP1040s, whatnot, you can just plug in directly to the battery. But
Okay, so that's how it works. Now,
yeah.
what I was getting at was so like this technology with these DC pumps is only going to get better,
Hmm.
and it's not going to be long before we've got these gnarly batteries that can run your light, your pump, and your power heads. And then I mean, the heaters is going to take a lot of work, but yeah, just because of how much power it consumes. But yeah, I think that's sort of the next best thing for batteries is, man, let's beef up these batteries and get something that can
Hmm.
last 3 days and like run a return pump and run a light. Do you need to run the light? No, I guess you're not. But it would be nice to know I have the power to run my pump for
Couple.
5 days on end.
Hmm.
All this crazy weather we've been getting, you never know what's gonna happen. It seems like every year is just something.
Exactly.
I don't remember it when I was a kid being like this, so
Hmm.
it's kind of I feel like it's kind of what we're in for.
Yep. If you look at a lot of like the RC type of stuff, you can get those little lipo batteries that are like super
Yeah,
thin and tiny, and they're light and they have a ton of juice in them.
Yep.
It'd be cool to see some products like that come out for the
And then they
aquarium.
explode if you mess them up, or what was it? If you let them run down, I think. I remember,
No, no,
gosh,
no, no. If you puncture it, it's like if you
is that
stab
what it
it.
is?
Yeah, you just don't
Yeah.
want to stab it with the screwdriver. Bad
I
plan.
remember I was into this at one point in time, and I used to love it, but oh, he ran it through a puddle. That's what it was. We were driving cars out on like a BMX type track, and it
Hmm.
had rained, and we were maybe 2 days after this rain, so it was still there was a puddle, and there was a puddle in between, sort of like this gap, like two jumps in the gap. Anyway, he landed in the puddle, and then this car started smoking, and then the lipo exploded. It was really cool. Sorry.
Exploding cars, filming
Yeah,
a
I know,
little
it was
movie
just
sequence.
awesome. And then after, because like, what? How did it explode, man? It's an electric car. And then he explained to me, he's like, oh, the lipo batteries. And then from that point forward, I stopped storing the lipos like in a backpack under my bed. Like I threw them in the closet away. Told my kids not to touch them.
Yeah, they had there was like little like tinfoily like mylar or whatever, some kind of fireproof bags they sold to charge them. But it's funny because looking back now, you're saying like how easy exploded. I used to play airsoft, and you like have those things strapped to the side of your gun as you're firing BBs at each other.
Well, gosh, I mean, the cell phones exploding in people's face. God, what was that guy? He was a recording artist that had the cell phone blow up on him.
Hmm. Oh, that's
But yeah,
sketchy.
yeah.
They're
However,
getting
hopefully,
safer.
yes, hopefully it never happens with aquariums. But
Hmm.
the point being is the technology I think is there to like have some really strong batteries. We're running DC voltage to a lot of equipment these days, which never could before.
Hmm.
So it's cool. I'm excited to see what that sort of backup power has in store.
And just in a light, small package, right? So it's easy to mount, it's easy to hide.
Yeah,
Size of
yeah,
your power
definitely.
brick, not a big thing. That's
Yeah,
good stuff.
I mean, they're going to be heavy. I mean, there are batteries, so you can expect some weight
Hmm.
to them. But still, I mean, even the EcoTech one is not terrible.
I actually have one
Definitely.
on the back of my lagoon just for running
There
the
you go. Like you
vortex.
can mount it between the wall and the tank usually.
Yep.
Um, way better than those computer UPSs, which
Hmm.
are like concrete bricks, cinder blocks, man.
I know.
Yeah,
Better than nothing, but yeah, if you can run straight up DC, you're way, way better off.
yeah, definitely.
Yep. What else for cool products?
What else
Uh,
for cool? We talked about Mindstream, right? Yeah, we did talk
yep.
about Mindstream. Anything else in the way of product? Well, Neptune, they released the
Hmm.
Trident, man. So
Yep.
that's cool.
I've heard
I
rumors of
know.
it at least.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know it's been hard to get a hold of for a lot of guys out there, but that was another one. I'm happy to see these companies really taking the time to do it right and not rush it. Because that one was another one that was sort of long time coming. But that's a complicated product, and it's
Hmm.
you know there's a lot of lives depending on these test results.
Yep.
So that's a big thing for me, and having that something that can I can be confident is going to give me these results, that I'm going to make changes that could affect the life of these animals is it's a big job.
Yep.
Like our buddy said in the chat, like I am the controller.
Hmm.
Like you're taking that responsibility off of yourself and giving it to a machine. So
True. In the chat, Zach Cav, did you ever look at the new Senai power meter at any of the shows I went to? So I did.
oh,
Senai, I think it's called the Spectra, I
I
believe.
was going to say Prism, but Spectra. Okay, yeah.
Maybe it's Prism.
No, I think
Um,
I think you're right, Spectra.
so that one, I kind of feel like it might have been standalone. I can't remember if it had to be plugged into a computer still, but it was aimed more. It was more precise, more accurate. I think it was more aimed at kind of the shop owner. On a different side note, I did hear rumors about a Senai that had an elk monitor built into the slides a
Really?
while back. It hasn't come out
Oh,
yet, so
wait, I did hear about that actually.
yeah, I
What do we
haven't
got
seen.
here? They have a coming soon page on their website.
Okay.
Let's see what they got. Uh, leak detector, well, a web server, we know that. And then the spectra, a coral plant and spectra. So, okay, so this is like a whole new thing. So it's going to measure alkalinity, dissolve CO2, and then the spectra with a full spectrometer on it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, so it's a lot more higher resolution, better data, more accurate type of meter. So yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be.
Oh, okay. So here it is. It's three different Senais. So I got a Senai coral coming, Senai plant, and then Senai spectra. So it's three different units
Yeah.
with their specific focus. Okay, I got it.
Hmm.
I remember that spectra was a lot different looking. I mean, it's still sort of the same profile, but it's like a
This,
bigger black
yeah,
box, and
black one.
it has like I I want to say there was a tablet or some sort of, like you said, standalone monitor for
Yeah,
it,
there's
right?
something different. I actually filmed some video with them. I probably have it. I don't know if I have edited it yet or not, but
Okay.
somewhere in the archives.
I want to say it was like you could connect it to an app, but you could also like have like a dedicated, screen or tablet with it, something like
Hmm.
that. But still
Uh,
neat. I mean, what's cool about that is we're making it more accessible
hmm.
to really get down to the nitty gritty and the science behind your lighting,
Hmm.
And there's only gonna be good things that come of it, man.
Yep.
Is just like anything else, as we start to dig our little fingers into it, we're gonna figure out all kinds of cool stuff. I
Exactly.
mean, look what we did with coral, like
Oh, it's
this
huge.
time 15, no, not even that long ago. So let's say this time 10 years ago, like, okay, well, here's one. It's like a flower pot coral,
Hmm.
a Goniopora and Alveopora. I mean, those
Yep.
things were almost impossible to keep, and
Hmm.
nobody had like colonies they'd grown in captivity. And now, like, you can buy
Yep.
frags of this stuff, and they have like, captive cultured genetics. So,
Hmm.
point being is just like it's really cool to watch these kind of like advancements happen before your eyes.
No, it's cool, and it's
And that was
happening.
just one that was in my time as a reef keeper. I mean,
Hmm.
we talk about. So I started about 2003 with coral. I guess it was like 2006. Was when I first like started keeping coral.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, you talk about guys from the 90s and in the 80s and stuff like. It's amazing what we can do now.
It really is. And it's hasn't even been that long, to be honest. Like even when
No,
I started
yeah,
into reefing, Goniopores were a big tricky one. Now I got into
yeah,
nice lush garden of them. It's like, yeah, they're
yeah.
easy now.
That's just the cool thing to me. It's like, I had somebody told me it was impossible, and now it
Hmm.
is possible.
Yeah, show them wrong.
Yeah.
Marcus was asking opinions on the best doser, standalone preferably.
Okay.
What's your go-to?
So, well, okay, I got two,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say Komoer is a pretty awesome one
Hmm.
for, price point, what you get for it. It's Wi-Fi, it's killer.
Hmm.
But I also really like the GHL one.
Yep.
So, if you're a GHL user and a fan of that, I would say that's a pretty darn good choice. But when
Hmm.
you have cost and everything, I would say that's kind of, if you're not a GHL or in the GHL ecosystem or a user interested, I just because they have a standalone unit too.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say just for price point and everything, the Komoer man's killer.
Hmm. Nice. I actually
Yeah.
have the F4 Pro one on my lagoon tank.
Yeah, man, they just
So far, so good.
for the price and the ease of programming and
Hmm.
those different things, man, it was awesome. And
Yep.
I mean the Neptune Dose is a great one too. I guess what I liked about the Komoer is just you got four heads, you got a
Hmm.
nice little Wi-Fi app to control it. So
Yep.
price wise, I
Well,
think
and
you
it's
can get there
standalone, which is
quick.
nice.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm getting at. Yeah,
which is good.
um, yeah, definitely.
The Versas when they come out, I think those will be a wicked. I have no idea what the price point is on them yet, but those will be a really cool option just because you could do so tiny to massive amounts with them.
Yes, no, that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited to be able to feed reactors, man. The feeding calcium
Oh,
reactor
my
too.
very first one is going to be for feeding the calcium
Yeah,
reactor.
yeah. I think it
Hands down,
was
first one.
Komoer had one that came out.
FX4
There you go.
FX
Yeah,
SDP.
the
That's what I have right now.
yeah, which is great. I mean, that pump's awesome. It's nice and
Yep.
programmable with the digital.
Hmm.
But it was a little loud.
Yeah. Okay. So it's quiet within certain ranges. And then,
Oh,
so
okay,
from
okay.
like 25 to 35 is fairly quiet. And if you go up higher, you get these weird little harmonic sounds. Like, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's from the vibrations of the motor, but it's like that, like, like the different tones. So
yeah.
I'll adjust my CO2 just so I can tweak it into like the quiet
The
range.
quiet range.
And
Yeah.
then when it's in the quiet range, it's good for about 3 or 4 months. And
Mhm.
then it'll start to get loud, like a sound.
You
I gotta
calibrate it at that time too.
Nah, usually not.
Oh,
But that's I'll clean it, like, right? So
yeah.
I'll wipe off the rollers or put a little like lithium food grease or whatever on it to like
Mhm.
relube it up, and then it's quiet again. So it's great for about 3 months, 4 months, and then you got to give it some love to maintain it. So I have a love hate relationship with it.
True.
It's
But
solid when it's fresh maintained.
exactly. That was,
Yeah,
besides the noise experience, the
yeah.
quality of that pump is awesome. It's nice to have that
Oh yeah,
digital, what's it, milliliters per minute or yeah, per
mill.
minute, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to program those, with a digital display.
Mhm.
Um,
And it's like prior to this, it was like those like not the max spec, whatever you call those big like medical grade ones that people are using to run their reactors. That was the only option. Now this isn't this big of a package, like for a very cheap price point, Masterflex. Um, so I mean, for the price point and what it does is awesome. But
yeah.
yep. So my OCD one's dead quiet though. It's still pretty darn good overall.
Yeah, I mean, the fish tank's never going to be quiet. I've definitely come to realize that. But then again, when it's louder than everything else, like a skimmer and your pumps and everything, then I would say it's a little bit loud.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I think that's most of the new cool things. Oh, the Claire C. I love the filter rollers.
Oh, the filter roller, yeah. That's the D&D one.
Yep, not changing socks is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, I really liked them too, man. I think I was using one for about a year and a half, prior to making this move, and yeah, I mean, it's a life changer. Not having to deal with filter socks anymore was pretty nice, and the level of clarity you get from them it's something to be talked about. It's definitely better than what you can get with the sock, from my experience.
Yeah, no, hands down, it's like crystal clear water, which is nice.
Yeah.
I went so far as to making the big one fit into my new lagoon tank.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that when you were doing it, man. It was like you were like tinker toying it together. What did you have to do? You had to drill like a bulkhead in, right?
Okay, so I could have put the 3000 in nicely. It would have fit, but I'm like, bigger rolls. I can go an extra few weeks without changing it.
Is just longer is all you wanted? Because there's not like, okay, all right.
If I can ignore it for another like 3-4 weeks, that's a solid win. Okay,
Fair enough.
so I had to cut open the 7-inch sock hole, like literally as big as I could to make it fit in there. And then I just trying to get it to sit lower, so I literally had the Clara C on the miter saw, like shaving off like 1/4 of an inch on one side, and I notched out the top so it sat in there. Like I felt so bad. It's like this brand new sump, brand new filter roller, sitting in there on the table saw, like shaving off millimeters to make it like just fit in there.
That's a true diehard there, man.
Yeah.
But I will give you this, man. It looked really clean when you had it all done. I was impressed.
Thank you.
When we were talking about it prior, and then like an hour later, you're like, I made it fit. And you show me a picture. It was pretty awesome to see, man. So good work. Props to you.
Thank you. Yeah, so to connect it, this is the tricky part. I ended up putting a bulkhead in the overflow wall, like normally where the sock would flow over. Marcus, thank you for the $2 super chat. So I put a bulkhead in, and the bulkhead is the same size thread, so I could thread it in and mount it to the back chamber using a bulkhead. And I used just like a straight 90 and just some flex tube to go to the main drain. So the main drain feeds it, and the trickle drain goes to the normal one to feed the refugium and all the rest of it.
There you go. So you can bypass it for the one. That's cool. Yeah. Get raw water essentially into the fuge and stuff.
Yep.
Awesome, man. That's cool. What sump was it? It was an eShop sump, right?
Yep. They had their new color series out.
Color series one? Okay.
Yep.
Which one was it? Well, the blue one.
I think it's AR200 is the model, but yeah, the blue.
AR200, there you go.
This tank's all blue and white theme, so it was like fit perfectly.
Except for Alphatronic.
Yeah, that's orange. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about buying some blue vinyl to.
I was gonna say paint it and put a sticker. There you go, vinyl. That's perfect. Yeah, it's removable.
Yeah, I'm gonna get blue vinyl and do it.
They're gonna get mad at Alphatronic though.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, speaking of testers, they have a new one coming out called the Mastertronic soon. I kind of want one. It does magnesium, calcium nitrates, phosphates, and then some other mysterious element.
Organics too. So, wow. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. When is that coming? Do you know?
Hopefully by the end of the year. Hopefully soon.
Oh, really?
But it's on the wish list, hopefully, because
I don't know. That's awesome.
Testing all the nutrients too would be a huge game changer.
Yeah. No, that's killer.
Did you cover the frozen feeder on Kickstarter? Yep, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah. Here, I want to look at this thing. I know I've seen it, but I haven't seen too much. You said it's on Kickstarter?
Yep. Kickstarter, frozen food feeder.
Auto frozen fish food.
Yeah, I believe it was like orange and gray or orange and white, and it had a little disc that turned.
First automated frozen fish feeder. Yeah.
Hey,
AF4 IND Creations.
Yeah. So they just had their prototype.
Yeah, no, I see that. Man, they could have picked a prettier color plastic.
Yep. But
no, I mean, this is exactly what I was saying before. Is it's finally in an acceptable sort of profile, and you've got. This is one of those things where form is just as important as function.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to stare at it.
It's true. Well, okay. So this is a side thing, but part of me for the tank is whatever I put on it needs to look pretty. Like, especially if it's in my living room. Like, if it's in the basement somewhere hidden, I'm not going to be as picky. But if it's in the middle of your living room, it's got to look nice. It's like your show centerpiece of the room, right?
Sure.
So it's got to be sleek.
And for me, that was something I think about this sometimes is that developed in time with me as I became, more. I remember my first fish tanks, and they were just terrible Frankenstein tanks.
Hmm.
But I think there's a purpose there. Like there's an important role that plays in going through that and understanding how all the stuff works together and how it functions. I mean, I don't think I would have learned anywhere near as much if I hadn't gone through that stage of having to buy used gear and piecing stuff together and just
Hmm.
like solving problems as they come up. Um, now it's like, yeah, I can predict a lot of these things and prepare for it and have the tank look nice and everything, but there's a lot of
Hmm.
important years there, I think, keeping fish tanks like that, this ugly mess in your living room.
It's a learning experience, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
it builds you as a hobbyist. It gives you experience and skills, and I
Yeah,
mean, part of that is you learn what something does, what happens. You know how to react to it in the future. Like it just makes
definitely.
your reefing
Well,
career
and what's
easier.
important to you when it
Hmm.
comes time to build your dream tank, so to speak, or, your nice centerpiece display, like
Hmm.
what is important to you and where the money should be spent
Yep,
on a good damn heater.
this is important. Hey, hey, hey! All those BRS heaters out of stock. How am I supposed to get a more efficient, smart one?
Ah, dude, I know it's terrible. Okay, so soon. Yeah, we've got some coming soon. I know that.
Hmm.
We just got word back. It was kind of like this a production thing, man. It's with the time of year. The company, like we had tons of them, you know, hoping to come our way, but we didn't think we'd sell out of that first batch so quick.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, manufacturers they just couldn't keep up with demand. They actually did do a huge favor, and they're getting us a shipment that we should have. I want to say within the next week or two. The big day's coming. So
Hmm.
keep checking back. Like I said, give it about 2 weeks, and I think you should
Okay.
see them. But yeah, if you see them on there, man, and you really want one, I'd say hey, click buy now because they are not going to last long. And
Good to know.
yeah, it's a hot commodity item right now for sure. So I'm sorry
So,
though for everybody.
yeah.
Very, very sorry. It was kind of out of our hands at this point.
I legitly need a smaller heater, so I am actually gonna keep an eye on this because
All right.
the two EHAMs I bought
Mm-hmm.
take up a good chunk of my sump chamber, and the NAS reactor and skimmer fit like perfectly in there, but now the heater's in there, it's
Oh,
too
it's gonna
tight.
look nice too. The gray.
Yep. So
Nice. There you go.
I know I need a sleeker one so I can fit in a different chamber and then
There
free
you
up that
go.
chamber. Yep.
What wattage do you need? I'm trying to think of your tank size. Like what wattages do you want? Because you're using two like half wattages, right?
I have two 100 watts. So
Two
I could
100
probably
watts,
either that or two 150s or
150s. Okay.
two 150s would probably be perfect because
Alrighty.
I find the heaters are on a lot since I've had the tank running the last 2 days. No, it's good though.
Oh, that's something new to me. Let's talk about cold weather real quick.
You're like, I've
Oh,
never
this
used a heater
guy.
before.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny even with fish tanks, but
Hmm.
man, I was born and raised in Southern California, and so this whole thing they call winter is new to me. Um, getting used to it slowly but surely. However, it's been one of the harder things for me to come around to, man, is
Hmm.
like I find myself acclimating, so like, it's not as bad as it was last time, but it's still just like I'm going to McDonald's in a hoodie with thermals on, wearing my long underwear and a jacket, and it's like 40 degrees out. And I'm in my car with the heater on in the drive-through.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, but yeah, like the other side's like, I knew I was getting into. It's nice to have
Hmm.
four seasons. It's a really cool experience. I want for the kids, for myself. So just a
And
whole new thing.
on the flip side, I can picture you out in like waders in the middle of winter with a belly boat
Oh,
fishing.
dude, already, it's already happened, man. I've we fish off these things called kick boats, and they're like little pontoons, and you sit on them, and you wear
Hmm.
waders with flippers. Well, yeah, and yeah, I've been 2 or 3 times now since the temperatures dropped out here, and I just layer up, like I'll have my
Yep.
long underwear on, some sweats, and then get in the waders. But the waders are pretty amazing, man.
Hmm.
In terms of like that material they use, there's a couple different types. And if you go like the neoprene route, really gonna get warm.
Hmm.
But I just use the thin, more flexible ones because you just layer up inside of them, and then if you start to get sweaty, because it kind of just like anything, you get sweaty, you got to take it off, and you'll just
Hmm.
get colder.
Yep.
So I like to have those layers under it.
Hmm.
But that hasn't been too bad. It's really just been like I don't know. It's like things like when I'm walking to get my mail. Like I'll just have a T-shirt on and I'll just get like I'll start shivering when I'm like, bringing my mail upstairs because I just don't expect it. You don't think about it. Like it's freezing outside.
You
But I could
gotta
go get the mail.
acclimate your fish, acclimate yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, even just finishing my rockscape because it's starting to get cooler out now. It's
Mhm.
like every day I go out there and like change another rock or two, and I'm like cementing stuff. It's like I'm out there in a t-shirt. I'm like, I don't know why I don't dress warmer. Run back inside for a bit, go back out, glue another rock. It's just like stuff we do.
Yeah. All right.
Yep,
This was fun, Devin.
it
Thank
was
you,
good,
man.
buddy. Hopefully,
Um,
yeah, man, it was good having you on. I'll have to do it
yeah,
again
no,
sometime.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I'll be back at trade shows next year, hopefully. Well, I definitely. So I will see your face, and we will have some fun together.
Yes, sir, we will.
But yeah, I'm still here, guys. Hit me up on social if you know you want to talk, chat fish tanks. I'm always around and happy to chat.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good
man.
having you, buddy. Thanks everyone who joined today. If you
Yeah, thank you, guys.
enjoyed it, as always, hit that like button. If not, hit it anyways, and we'll see you guys on next week's video.